With Order 66 in hand, the forces of the 501st, following Darth Vader, lay siege to the heart of the Jedi Order, the Jedi Temple on Coruscant. Following a tense showdown in the Chancellor's office, the Jedi have been declared traitors to the Republic, and the Republic itself has begun the transition into the Galactic Empire. But to remove the Jedi, which pose a threat to this new empire, an assault must be carried out on their Coruscant stronghold. The objectives of the Jedi during this engagement would be to repel the Imperial assault, which at this point they don't even know is coming, an assault which catches them completely off guard. Meanwhile, the Imperial objectives would be to extinguish the Jedi Order on Coruscant and claim the Jedi Temple for the rising Galactic Empire. Defending the temple would be the numerous Jedi in the temple, a lot of them younglings who were training to participate in the Clone Wars, which many of the adult Jedi were off fighting. The temple would also be guarded by the temple guards, who were very capable fighters in their own right. Meanwhile, the assaulting Imperial force consisted of the 501st, under the command of the newly christened Darth Vader, as well as a number of elite commando squads that would be supporting this assault. With Jedi Defenses not expecting an attack to come from clone troopers, Darth Vader was able to lead the 501st right up the steps of the Jedi Temple and into the temple itself. However, quickly after the infantry forces entered the temple, they were met by resistance from Jedi infantry forces, most notably members of the Temple Guards, who almost instantly realized something was off and quickly engaged the advancing clone troopers. This would mark the start of the engagement, with both sides initially clashing in the opening areas of the temple's vestibule. However, these Temple Guards were significantly outmatched by the vast number of clone troopers and were quickly overwhelmed. With the bulwark of defenses now destroyed, the clone troopers were able to advance into the heart of the temple. At this point, many of the Jedi in the temple were unsuspecting, believing that the clone troopers had simply been responding to an ever-present threat from separatist attack. As such, many of them did not initially take up defensive positions against the clone troopers until it was far too late. As clone troopers scattered throughout the temple, a large number of smaller infantry engagements would break out, as much of the temple is too tight of quarters for vehicles to operate. Clone troopers would advance room to room, hallway to hallway, clearing out any Jedi. Both adults and younglings, masters and Padawans, would fall victim to the advancing clone troopers or the blade of Darth Vader who was leading them. Throughout the entire engagement, the confusion of the situation would put the Jedi at a constant disadvantage, with them erroneously putting their trust in either the clone troopers or former Anakin Skywalker, now Darth Vader. One of the initial targets of the Imperial forces surging into the temple would be the temple's communication center. Darth Vader would take a detachment of the 501st and lead them initially to that communication center. The objective was to seize the communication center and recalibrate the message that it would be sending, to call Jedi back to the temple, claiming that the war was over. This objective was achieved relatively quickly, as the Jedi archives were not that well defended. With the Jedi archives now secured and the signal being sent out for Jedi to return to the temple, a detachment of clone troopers were left behind to protect that communication center, while a large number of clone troopers continued to surge through the temple and attempt to secure the rest of the facility. Meanwhile, Skywalker himself took a small group of clone troopers and proceeded up towards the Jedi Council chambers. At some point around this time, a fire broke out near the main center of the temple and quickly spread, as there were no firefighting equipment or individuals on hand, since they were busy fighting an ongoing battle. The end result is this inferno quickly overtook the central portion of the temple, leading to a thick column of black smoke that could be sighted for miles around. This would be some of the first notifications that a lot of the people of Coruscant got that there was major change going on, the first signs that the Galactic Republic was in its final death throes and falling to the Galactic Empire. Although at this point, many of them would have had no idea what was going on. In fact, shortly after this, a Senator Bail Organa, who was sympathetic to the Jedi, would arrive at the temple and discuss the situation with some clone troopers who simply stated that there was a rebellion, but it was under control. However, after witnessing these clone troopers execute a Jedi, Bail Organa fled from the scene. So with skirmishes now breaking out all across the temple, predominantly ending in clone victories, Skywalker, now Darth Vader, took his contingent of clone troopers up to the Jedi Council chambers, where he found a group of younglings hiding in hopes of finding rescue. Believing that Skywalker was there to save them and had not in fact, become Darth Vader. They put their trust in him, which was unfortunately a mistake. Even though Temple Guards and the Jedi present put up the best fight they could, they were very easily and very quickly overwhelmed, with the entire battle being over in less than an hour, with the Temple quickly falling to the control of the Galactic Empire. However, while clone forces did manage to quickly seize control of the Temple itself, there were still concerns of Jedi hiding in the massive structure, and it would take days for them to fully secure the building in every nook and cranny. As such, clone troopers would spend the next several days scouring the Temple while they set up a perimeter around it to prevent any Jedi from re-entering it and hopefully kill any Jedi that were caught in Darth Vader's trap. With the Jedi Temple now firmly in Imperial hands and the Jedi Order on Coruscant now crushed, Operation Knightfall ended with a firm and decisive Imperial victory. The events on Coruscant of Operation Knightfall and of Order 66 across the galaxy would shock the people of the galaxy. If you'd like to learn about what the people of the galaxy thought of Order 66, I'll leave a link in the upper right-hand corner to my video on that. And if you have any other battles you'd like to see covered in future episodes of Battle Analysis and added to the archive, you can let me know down below in the comments. Last but not least, if you enjoyed this video, head down below, hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the bell icon so you get notified when I upload new videos. So for Sci-Fi Deep Dive, I'm Colin, and I will see you next time.